They said no one was coming. The alien fleet had already won, and 40 warships stood ready to erase everything. Then, without warning, a human warship appeared from the void. Silent, massive, impossible. And when the enemy demanded surrender, humanity answered with a weapon so terrifying, an entire fleet vanished without even exploding. The Keith Dominion had never lost a fleet. Not in 400 years of expansion, not against the Urathi hive minds, not against the crystalline war forms of the outer reach. 47 civilizations had bent the knee or burned. The Dominion simply did not lose. Then the ardent Meridian dropped out of the void. She appeared without warning, without registration, without any of the 17 transponder layers the Dominion required of all vessels crossing the threshold corridor. One moment, empty space. The next, a human warship the size of a small moon, her hull black as collapsed stars, her silhouette wrong in ways that made Dominion sensor officers question their instruments. Fleet Admiral Sorath Velnarak stood at the bridge of his command vessel and felt something unfamiliar move through him. He called it curiosity. His second-in-command, Prater Duran, called it something closer to dread. "Admiral," Duran said quietly, "their vessel is not transmitting. I can see that. They have no registered drive signature. I can see that as well." What neither of them could see was the woman standing inside the ardent Meridian, 3 decks below the command bridge, in a chamber that had no name on any official schematic. Dr. Noel Vashti had not slept in 61 hours. Her hands were steady anyway. They had always been steady. Even the day she watched the colony feed cut to static. Even the day she learned that Marin Station, where her brother had lived, no longer existed as a physical structure. The Keth had cleared it from orbit with the casual efficiency of a farmer pulling weeds. That was 14 months ago. She had spent every hour since building the thing that now hummed beneath her fingertips. She called it the Hollow. Command called it a strategic deterrent. Captain Ren Osabu, standing at the main bridge with his arms folded and his jaw set like carved stone, called it their last honest argument. "Admiral Velnarak is hailing us," his communications officer said. "Let him." The Dominion Admiral filled the forward display, tall, compound-eyed, his ceremonial armor layered in the deep violet of a Conqueror class. Behind him, through the viewport of his own bridge, 40 warships held formation. 40 warships and a siege platform the size of a small continent. "Human vessel," Velnarak said. "You are in violation of 17 Dominion statutes. Surrender your ship and your crew will be processed according to Dominion protocol." Osabu did not move. "Processed. It is a mercy you have not earned." Osabu glanced at the small screen embedded in his armrest. One word glowed there, sent from Vashti 3 decks below. "Ready." "Admiral," Osabu said, "I'm going to give you something no one in 400 years has given you." Velnarak tilted his head. "And what is that?" "A warning." The channel closed. Velnarak, insulted and utterly unafraid, ordered the siege platform to begin targeting solutions. He never finished the order. The Hollow activated without sound, without light, without any of the theatrical signatures that weapon systems were supposed to produce. Vashti simply pressed a single point on her console, and the space between the ardent Meridian and the Dominion fleet folded, not like paper folds, not like anything with a clean physical analogy. It simply stopped being the kind of space that ships could occupy. 40 warships and a siege platform did not explode. They did not burn. They did not scatter. They were gone, as if they had never been assigned coordinates, as if 4,000 Keth soldiers had simply stepped out of the universe through a door that closed behind them. On the ardent Meridian, no one cheered. Vashti sat in the silence of her chamber and stared at her hands, still steady, still calm, and understood that this was the part no equation had prepared her for. Not the activation, not the result, the quiet afterward. Osabu stood at the viewport for a long time, watching the place where 40 ships had been. "What did we become today?" his navigation officer whispered. He did not answer. He was not sure the answer was something humanity was ready to hear. Whatever they had become, the Dominion now knew one thing it had never known before. Someone was coming. If this story moved you, join the crew. Leave a like, subscribe, and tell us below, was Vashti right to build it?